Hey everyone, welcome into Siren Records Monterey. It's Fresh Catch Friday, and if you're new here, hi. On this channel we talk about some of the new releases, reissues, and represses that came out today on vinyl. And I always start out with a pick of the week, or sometimes a couple. But anyway, down below there's a list that kind of runs in alphabetical order. It's got all the prices on there listed, and sometimes you will see things on the list that we're not talking about in this pile, but it's probably just because it is still being unpacked in the other room and hasn't made it out here yet, or we're just like really cherry picking. Anyway, today I have a larger pile than we have had in the last couple of weeks. I'm going to try to go through it as quick and concisely as I can, trying not to run the clock up too high here. Anyway, we always start with pick of the week. This week, my pick for you was Over Mono. It's called Good Lies. This comes to us through XL Recordings. Now, this is a highly anticipated release. These guys, since their inception, have like purposely cultivated a fan base that really has, made them one of the UK's most original contemporary live electronic acts. So now here, across these 12 tracks, they journey through a very powerful refining of their musical career so far. They are, there's hit single from the last, they've had a couple of club EPs out through 20 and 22, and they had this club single called So You Know, that was their big break. Anyway, alongside that, they have got a Good Lies here. It sort of remolds and interweaves this very captivating vocal cuts into this series of like multi-genre sounds, and it fits really effortlessly between euphoria and melancholy, and this in that same 4-bar loop. Anyway, check it out if you like this sort of genre, and you'll not be disappointed. Pretty good. Okay, so next up we have Dorothy Ashby. This is Rubaiyat of Dorothy Ashby. This is on Verve, and there's a little series they're doing, Verve by Request. Anyway, it's electrified harp and funky vibes, Japanese koto and more. It's all wrapped up in Chicago soul arrangements from the legendary Richard Evans. Easily the funkiest record ever from the legendary Dorothy Ashby. It's a set of all original tunes based on the writings of Omar Khayyam. Done in this transcultural blend that inflects her vocals with Eastern-styled instrumentation, sends the whole thing home with beats and grooves from the bottom, produced and arranged by Chicago soul legend Richard Evans, and it's like very heavy funk with harp, vibes, flute, and more. 180 gram, manufactured at Third Man Pressing in Detroit, Michigan. It tells you that on the sticker there, so that's a cool one. All right, next up we have Rick Astley, Hold Me in Your Arms 2023. This is through BMG Rights Management. This is the platinum-selling sophomore album from Rick Astley, the follow-up to his smash hit debut album, Whenever You Need Somebody. So this marks its 35th anniversary, and it reached the top 10 in multiple markets. And it's a limited edition blue vinyl. And I think it tells you that here, yes, on the sticker. Okay. Then we have Avenged Sevenfold. This is Sounding the Seventh Trumpet on Hopeless Records. Limited double vinyl pressing. Sounding the Seventh Trumpet was their debut album, originally released in 2001. It was recorded in 2000, and the title, Sounding the Seven Trumpets, takes its name from the book of Revelation, specifically referencing chapter 11 and the sounding of the seventh trumpet, showing the end of the world. So the album was recorded with a budget of $2,000, and when the band members got into the studio, the Rev recorded all the drums in one take, and then the other band members added their parts to what he'd already laid down. That's an interesting way of recording. Zaki Vengeance played lead guitar originally. This is on purple vinyl, and it's a double. Did I tell you it's a double, or is it maybe it's not a double. I'm sorry, it just feels thick. It must be the gatefold, I thought. But it does tell you that it's purple vinyl here on the sticker. Okay. All right, then we have Art Blakey. This is Art Blakey Big Band. This is on Bethlehem Records. It's featuring John Coltrane and Donald Byrd. recorded in New York in 1957. It differs from typical Art Blakey releases, and as his regular quintet was expanded to form a big band for these arrangements. It was in the mid-90s and again in the 2000s that this album was repackaged and re-released under John Coltrane's name, combining it with several songs from Winter Circle. Another album featuring Coltrane was recorded for Bethlehem label in 1957. So, it's kind of been mismatched and swapped around, these tracks, but here they are all. This edition is of note. It features several alternate takes which were released here for the first time, remastered on 180-gram black vinyl. Okay, this is a very cool thing. This is a reissue of Daft Punk Random Access Memories on Legacy Recordings. Okay, 2023 marks the 10th anniversary of this multi-Grammy winning hit record, including the songs like Get Lucky, Instant Crush, Lose Yourself, To Dance, and features Pharrell Williams, Nile Rodgers, Julian Casablancas, Paul Williams, Panda Bear, and Todd Edwards. So a lot of guests on here too. So to celebrate this milestone, this is a special expanded edition, and it's released including 35 minutes of 9 unreleased music, demo, and studio outtakes. And the triple vinyl includes a special Lose Yourself to Dance poster, plus a 16-page booklet. And I guess that this is just on black vinyl. Okay. All right, now this is Lauren Daigle, and this is on the New Electra label, and she's a 2-time Grammy Award-winning singer and songwriter. So the single, Thank God I Do, marks the launch of a new creative chapter for the multi-platinum selling Louisiana-bred artist, who's just last month announced to signing to Atlantic Records in partnership with longtime label Home Centricity Music. So the creative team behind Lauren Daigle is led by Grammy Award-winning producer Mike Elizondo, who does 21 Pilots, Mary J. Blige, Fiona Apple, Carrie Underwood, people like that. She comprises the 10 soulful and uplifting songs here. This is Volume 1, and Volume 2 is supposed to be coming in the fall. And I guess that one is black vinyl as well. Right. Okay, then we have the Miles Davis Quintet, working with the Miles Davis Quintet Original Jazz Classics Series. This is through Kraft Recordings, and undeniably one of the best small bands in the history of jazz. The Miles Davis Quintet of the mid-1950s featured the all-star lineup of Miles on trumpet, John Coltrane on tenor sax, Red Garland on piano, Paul Chambers on bass, and Philly Joe Jones on the drums. This new edition of Working is released as part of the Original Jazz Classics series and is pressed on 180-gram vinyl at RTI. And it's also presented in an old school kind of tip-on jacket. Now, if you haven't been with us for a long time, what in the hell is a tip-on jacket? That involves printing the cover art on sheets of paper like they used to do, then gluing those sheets to the board stock. So the tip part of the name comes from how the paper was applied to the underlying board. So by contrast, the direct-to-board method of printing that is directly onto the board stock is the current norm. You don't have like a paper that you paste onto the back, is what they're saying. So tip-on jacket suppliers don't all archive the tip-on effect in precisely the same way. So a major issue with tip-on jackets is from the 70s was that they weren't the highest quality and it was very hard to keep them in good condition. So when they do it now, they do it better, and it is just to make it look more old school vintage. It's more of an aesthetic thing, okay? All right, then we have Devil Driver, Dealing with Demons, Volume 2. This is through Napalm Records. The first half of Devil Driver's double album was released in 2020, an ambitious follow-up to their 1918. Sorry, what am I saying? 2018. Did I say 1920 before? Okay, the first half was released in 2020, sorry. And it was an ambitious follow-up to their 2018 Till the End Volume 1 that covered country artists ranging from Willie Nelson to Johnny Cash. And since then, they've undergone some lineup changes. So Dealing with Demons Volume 2 was recorded at the same time as Volume 1 between July of 2018 and February of 2019. That means the two albums are very similar sonically. and musically, though there are some differences. So the main one is overall Dealing with Demons 2 is even heavier and more angst-ridden than the prior. Okay, though there's no shortage of groove or melody. It's all there. Okay, then we have Dropkick Murphys, Okima Rising. This is on Dummy Luck Music. So the Dropkick Murphys' history with Woody Guthrie, it dates back decades, from covering Gonna Be a Blackout Tonight on their 2003 album Blackout to using some of Guthrie's writing about Boston in their immortal hit I'm Shipping Up to Boston. So on the recent 2022 album, The Machine Still Kills Fascists, Dropkick Murphys crafted an entire record around the seminal American folk icon, bringing Woody Guthrie's perennial jabs at life, many of which are from the 1940s and 50s, into the present. Okay, so Okima Rising is the second and final installment of this collaboration, and the band bring it home with a bang. So whereas the goal of This Machine Still Kills Fascists was to raise consciousness, Okima Rising intends to raise the roof. It may have one or two kind of tender moments on here, but all in all, it's much more of a party. So this is on standard black vinyl, and that's here for you too. Okay, next up we've talked about these guys before. This is Ebby Soda, and it's called like UGH, that kind of thing. Okay, this is a double LP. It's through True Thoughts. And so following their aptly named Bedroom Tapes EP, which we had talked about before, it comes on. Here's a collection of tunes from Ebby Soda's first ventures into professional recording, because these were the guys that were doing everything in the bedroom, like creating their own little at-home studio kind of thing. So the band's made sure to carry all their DIY-centric identity with them, creating this beautifully produced record with the band's raw energy still at the forefront. Setting the tone straight away is the song called Eki, which moves from upbeat, dancey rhythms to a nightmare-inducing dub soundscape. So the 10-track project was recorded over a year from various locations and sessions, leading it to carry an air of it's very sporadic, kind of, with its genre-switching nature, leading the band to consider it more of a mixtape than an album. So Ebby Soda seeks to surprise and alarm their listeners with this project. This bonus edition repress on limited edition yellow vinyl features unreleased dubs from intergalactic sound dealer Ash Walker, who meets Ebby Soda in the echo chamber. So this is on yellow vinyl. All right. Then we have Duke Ellington, historically speaking. This is the Duke. BMG Rights Management, recorded for Bethlehem Records in '56. Duke Ellington's Historically Speaking is an album of updated arrangements from earlier Duke classics, so including East St. Louis Toodaloo in a mellow tone and Creole Love Call. The orchestra, with the recent return of saxophonist Johnny Hodges to the Ellington fold with the modernizing influence of drummer Stan Woodyard on drums, it sounds rejuvenated, and making the album a strong contender for one of Ellington's finer efforts of the 1960s. This is remastered. It's on 180-gram black vinyl. Okay, then we have Fletcher, Finding Fletcher. This one is on translucent light blue vinyl, and the label is Fletcher Snapback Entertainment. So the project that started it all, the first, feels on Fletcher's introduction into the world. So Finding Fletcher takes you guys on a musical journey through her life, featuring the viral smash hit Warpaint. So again, it's on this kind of translucent, really pretty aqua blue color. And it doesn't tell you that anywhere on this, but you can trust me, that's what it is. All right, then another Fletcher, You Ruined New York City for Me, extended. This one is also through Fletcher Snapback Entertainment. It's a highly personal story of first love and heartbreak. The EP is executive produced by Melee, who does Frank Ocean, Lord, and Sam Smith, and it features Fletcher's breakthrough hit Undrunk. Billboard and GQ called Undrunk one of the best songs of 2019. So the extended version here, this one, it includes a previously unreleased track called Fuck You for Ruining New York City for Me. And it's on what they're calling apple red vinyl, and it is actually a very gorgeous, deep, beautiful red, opaque. Doesn't say anywhere on here, but it is. There's a third Fletcher that's out too, but it's still in the other room, and that's on translucent emerald green. But anyway, it's around. Okay, this is Flume. It's called Palaces, and it's on Future Classic label. It doesn't take long to understand how skilled of a producer that Flume is. Right from Palaces' first seconds, it's obvious how much detail, dynamic, and color Flume is able to pack in his music with skills that have earned him a very beloved and acclaimed spot in the industry. So Palaces isn't the first time that we're getting a full-length project from the Australian producer, and his 2019 mixtape already earned him enough investment of fans and critics. It's very energetic, futuristic, ethereal, surreal, atmospheric, and lush, and that's on black vinyl. All right, then we have Allison Goldfrapp, The Love Invention, and this is on Skint Records. Now, Allison Goldfrapp has been towering the bar for British synth pop since the in the 21st century, and she's only just getting started. So the magnetic London-born singer, songwriter, and producer's 7 albums with Goldfrapp were fueled with an unfailing modernity and a sixth sense for sounds that were more timeless and than any trend. So with the release of her debut solo album here, The Love Invention, and it's an electrifying dance pop suite, her multifaceted musicianship reaches a new peak. The Love Invention marks her reawakening as a dance floor priestess in an intoxicating showcase of the disco and house influences that have always been at the heart of her music. This is on 180 gram, either black vinyl or limited edition purple vinyl, and it will tell you, like, this is the purple vinyl and this one is the regular black vinyl, so you can get it either way. Then we have a reissue here of Emmylou Harris, but this is available for the first time on vinyl, and it's called Stumble into Grace. It's on None Such. So yeah, available on vinyl for the first time. She offers second disc of original material and is joined by such guests as Linda Ronstadt, Kate and Anna McGarrigle, Gillian Welch, and Jane Seabury. Newsweek declares her stellar voice takes on a new depth when tied to songs so personal, and this is on cream-colored vinyl. All right, then we have Hot Mulligan, Why Would I Watch? And this is on Wax Bodega, bolstered by 140 million Spotify streams, a sold-out nationwide headlining tour, support for the likes of the Wonder Years and Newfound Glory, and headlines in alternative press. Hot Mulligan's third LP, Why Would I Watch, cements their evolution as the most versatile and profoundly moving bands in the underground. So Why Would I Watch is Hot Mulligan at their loudest, their poppiest, and ultimately their most poignant. This is on opaque blue vinyl. Okay, so here's one that people are excited about. This is Joji. It's called Smithereens, and it's on Warner Records. Now, already one of the most anticipated new albums of the year is the follow-up to Joji's 2020 sophomore album, Nectar, and features the worldwide hit single Glimpse of Us, which has gone gold since its release in June of 2022. Split into 2 sides, okay? Side A deals with trying to reconcile with past love, while side B is the aftermath of failed reconciliation. So the project follows the narrative over a mix of trap, electronic, and lo-fi beats on exclusive limited clear vinyl, and it will tell you that on the sticker. Okay. Then, if that wasn't exciting enough, we have the Jonas Brothers, the album on Republic Records. The Jonas Brothers took the world by storm in 2019 with the surprise release of their critically acclaimed and widely successful single Sucker, following a 6-year hiatus. So the triple platinum single debuted at #1 on Billboard's Hot 100. Their third #1 album, Happiness Begins, went platinum, and they recently celebrated receiving a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So there you go. Here they come again. All right, this is Cadaver. It's called Abracadaver, and it's on Nuclear Blast. Now, this is the second studio album by this German rock band, Cadaver, originally released in 2013 by Nuclear Blast. It features the last album to feature bassist Philip Lippitz and the first to feature bassist Simon Boatsloop, who played on the last 2 tracks. So this is a 10th anniversary special edition, a gatefold sleeve with it's on glow in the dark vinyl, and that tells you right there. All right, this is LP Moby, Light Places, and this is on Counter Records. Producer, DJ, pianist, and activist LP Moby shares Light Places, her long-awaited and highly anticipated full-length debut album, on Ninja Tune imprint that's called Counter Records. Okay, featuring multiple tracks with impressive names like Sophie Tucker, Little Jet, Carolyn Byrne, Monogem, DJ, Tennis, and Joseph Ashworth throughout the album. So Light Places sees the LP celebrate the joys of collaboration, improvisation, and creating music through friendship, paying homage to people and music that shaped her as an artist. And this is on light blue transparent vinyl. And it doesn't tell you that on the sticker, but that's what it is. All right, this is Dave Mason, Alone Together Again. So this is BMG Rights Management. So there are not many artists who can celebrate the 50th anniversary of their signature albums, let alone those still musically vital enough to re-record them. And that's what he's done here. He had an album called Alone Together, and here it's all revamped and redone. And they've even done the cover art in the same way that the original was, but obviously he's a little longer in the tooth now. He was one of the founders of Traffic, and later he, was into soft yacht rock. He was kind of, did that middle of the road kind of rock for people. He's gone on all in on this project. He's not only reproduced each of the 8 tracks on the Rootsy Alone Together in this new studio versions with mostly the same arrangements and instrumentation, but simulated the original cover and graphics. And even the marble colored vinyl, now on blue vinyl, that was so unique and even mind-blowing at the time. Okay, so there he's trying it again. And it's kind of an odd packaging the way that this opens up, because it's not like a side where you pull your vinyl out. There's a flap that opens, and then this goes long into even more of a photo, and it has a whole thing going on of packaging. Okay, now we have Moby, Resound New York City, Crystal Clear, or Sun Yellow vinyl. Now, this is on Deutsche Grammophon, and this is Moby's second album on Deutsche Grammophon, following 2021's Reprise. So digging further into his catalog, he's reimagined 15 of some of his most iconic tracks for this new album. It features tracks he wrote between 1994 and 2010 while living in New York City. And the new versions, they feature this vibrant brass-heavy sound. So as I said, you can get this on the Crystal Clear or the Yellow, and both of those are limited edition, and they do tell you on the stickers up here which one it is. All right, now, seems like there's been a lot of Motorhead reissues, so here's another one. This is Kiss of Death. It's on BMG Rights Management. It's their 18th studio album, continued on with the heavy blistering sound evident on the Cameron Webb-produced predecessor called Inferno, originally released in August of 2006. It charted at number 4 in Germany. That was their highest position to date there. The album featured guests Mike Inez from Alice in Chains and CeCe DeVille from Poison, and it is pressed on silver vinyl, and it does tell you that. Okay, then another Motorhead. This is Motorizer, and this is their 19th studio album. It was originally released in August of 2008. And it was their third to be produced by Cameron Webb. So Motorizer was the first album for the band to chart in the USA, debuting at number 82. It also reached number 5 in Germany. The album's lead single, Rock Out, was featured as the official theme song to WWE Unforgiven. This is on transparent blue vinyl, and that tells you there. Okay, then we have Casey Musgraves. It's the 5th anniversary of Golden Hour, and this is the Cloud 9 edition, okay? This is through MCA Nashville. Golden Hour, her 4th studio album. She's a country music singer, songwriter, and it was released in March of 2018. Anyway, she co-wrote all 13 tracks and co-produced this album It's a country pop record. It also contains elements of disco, electropop, electronica, and yacht rock. So celebrating the 5th anniversary of her Grammy Award-winning Album of the Year, Golden Hour, with a limited edition sky blue glitter vinyl. Now I know it's hard for you to see in camera. There is glitter in this too. So it's a good looking piece of vinyl, but I don't really like when they just shove a piece of vinyl in those plastic sleeves. I don't like it. Reverend Horton Heat, Spend a Night in the Box. This is through Real Gone Music. Now, Spend a Night in the Box is the 6th album by Reverend Horton Heat, and it was released in 2000. And Spend the Night in a Box, it refers to the movie Cool Hand Luke, which takes place during the 1940s at a chain gang style correctional facility in the Deep South. So basically, if you screw up, you spend the night in the box. It's sort of sensory deprivation, severe cramp and heat exhaustion inducing facility that was basically a box. So Spend the Night in a Box is a no-nonsense return to the roots of what the Reverend and the crew do their best. And it's the most basic early rock and roll style recording of any of his past major releases. So the sense of humor is still there, although somewhat subdued compared to earlier recordings. And that separated the Reverend from being just another rockabilly combo. It includes full color inner sleeve with the lyrics, and this is pressed on gold vinyl, and that tells you that right there. Okay, then we have Run DMC, Tougher Than Leather. Through Legacy Recordings, released in '88, Tougher Than Leather followed Run DMC's massively successful 3rd album, Raising Hell, and furthered their innovative, aggressive, and hard-hitting sound that defined the hip-hop scene of the 1980s. So, Tougher Than Leather blends Run DMC's infectious, charismatic flows and heavily sample-based production with hard-hitting raps, soaring choruses, and rapid-fire delivery. Now we have Archie Shepp, called Kwanzaa. This is on Verve. And these 1969 recordings, released in 1974, combine Archie Shepp's free jazz bona fides and a blend of blues funk through an African lens, all in a big band setting. The all-star brass section featuring James Spaulding and Charles Davis on sax, along with trombonist Graham Moncur III, lead the way on standout cuts, including New Africa and Spoopy-Doo, Verve by Request series. Again, this was remastered on 180-gram vinyl, manufactured at Jack White's Third Man Pressing in Detroit, and it tells you that on the sticker. All right, Nina Simone, Great Woman of Song, Nina Simone, and this is also on Verve. Now, throughout her career, Nina's music has inspired audiences of all ages, races, and nationalities, so created with the newest generation in mind. Any new fans that are just getting onto her. Great Women of Song features the best of the best. So Miss Simone's most loved and notable hits assembled in one package. So this album would make like a nice gift for somebody if you were introducing someone to her. Okay, this is the Unicorns Who Will Cut Your Hair When We're Gone on Caterpillar Records. It's a limited edition yellow vinyl release to celebrate the 20th anniversary of this legendary album. There's 2,000 units total worldwide pressing. It was remastered from the original release with a download card and features 4 bonus tracks from the original sessions. So these tracks are deeply rooted in careful songwriting and lo-fi pop experimentalism, and at that time, when this came out, they had this reputation of Canada's most promising new band at the time. Obviously didn't go a lot of anywhere after that, but some people really dig it. All right, this is Morgan Wallen, One Thing at a Time. This is a triple LP. It's on Universal Import. So Modern Country's Prodigal Son returns with 36 songs on this album. That says a whole lot of nothing. It's the typical same themes that he's had, like he met the girl of his dreams, he fucked up considerably, lost her forever, he's drowning his sorrow in whiskey, he feels the spark of new love, he pledges to change his miserable ways. The 29-year-old Tennessee native's music portrays life in the never-ending cycle of that, and each point along the way, he's got all kinds of like bumper sticker slogans, frat brother advice, and heartfelt apologies to bestow upon his enormous fan base. So, luckily for them, his thoughts arrived to him in great bountiful harvests, so that all his albums are incredibly long, resulting in a thick catalog of very familiar country anthems spilling forth like a bursting keg. So, white vinyl, 3 LPs. All right. This is Kenny Wheeler. It's called New High, and it's on ECM Records. This is an LP by Canadian trumpeter Kenny Wheeler, featuring Keith Jarrett, Dave Holland, and Jack DeJohnette, recorded in 1975 and released finally in 1976. So he's playing the flugelhorn exclusively for this, his ECM label debut. Wheeler tones and his wealth of ideas finally come to fruition. He certainly was an auspicious starting point, albeit long-winded, for a magical performer whose sound and smarts captured the imagination of so many fellow musicians and listeners from this point onward. So anyway, there you go, guys. We just hit the 30-minute mark, and that is a sampling of some of the new releases, reissues, and represses that were out on vinyl today. So list is down below. Again, you'll see some things on the list that we didn't talk about, but my gosh, we got to move. So I hope you all have a great weekend. I hope you found something in there that you find interesting. And if you're local, Siren Records in Monterey, we are open from 10 to 4 every single day of the week. And yeah, come in. The weather's nice. It stopped raining finally. So I'll see you next week.